I feel like Wizards of the Coast has just conceded a point to the players with the new creation of play boosters. It feels like the players have decided something and Wizards of the Coast had to give it to us. Does that mean we're winning? Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. And I think we scored one against Wizards of the Coast again. Like we did with 30th Anniversary, there's a lot going on with play boosters coming up in February of 2024 that we need to discuss and actually have a conversation about, because it shows the power that consumers have when they stick together and vote with their wallets. And that's what players did. When you look back to 2018, and we had Throne of Eldraine and the first introduction of the collector booster box. And it went very well received. When you carry that on, we had set boosters join us with Zendikar Rising. But in between all that, we also had commander decks coming out with each and every release. Jumpstart and the Jumpstart mini products, the theme boosters that failed, everything just kept coming in a snowball effect. And at first, players were more than happy to shovel these products into their background. They were more than happy to indulge in these products when everything was going great. But when things don't go great, when the economy turns, when your perception of the product turns, when all the multitude of reasons I could give you on this channel to why players turned away from many of these products, the result is the same. You tightened your wallet. You spoke with your pocketbook and you said, I'm not doing this anymore. And not only did players say, I'm not doing this anymore, the speculators left when the money dried up. When it was no more easy money for them to flip over quickly, some of them got hit hard and lost a lot of money. Other players just had to fold up. Some people made a lot of cash and ducked out early. Whatever the reason, the speculators are gone. The investors are few and far between, and what's left mostly are a lot of players who want to play the game. But even those players were choosing to indulge in this product in the way that suited them the best. Commanders, you're buying one of. You had players playing Pauper, no problem, cheap game, have a lot of fun, great times. A lot of players owned a lot of those cards already, but yes, there's some cards you have to buy, but it's Pauper, it's a cheaper format to play in for the most part. Then you also had Commander players who were indulging in Commander, but they were generally buying singles as well and picking up cards to augment the Commander deck. They weren't buying every Commander deck Wizards had. So as the shrinking pool of money started closing in, but Wizards was still producing these things, it led us down that path of, oh, there's too much stock. We got to dump this stuff on Amazon. Oh, we're hurting our value because we dumped it on Amazon, and players are getting even more upset. It got worse and worse for them. Wizards of the Coast started noticing it faster and faster how bad things were getting. Now, when we go with this play booster route, okay, when this starts becoming the way that we choose to, engage in Magic, yes, the price point bothers me to no end. It is a lot more expensive for a player to buy a box, but not everyone needs to buy a box. You can just go ahead and indulge in individual booster packs, buy at your leisure. Yes, you're paying a higher price point, but they'll be available. They'll be there as you want to buy them, and you'll get that mix of an experience. You get the drafting effect. If you want to play draft, great, you can just buy a couple of packs, but at the same time, you have the chance for the set booster. And I don't want to promote what they're doing. I'm not going to say, oh, this is going to be, because it's not going to be. We always know they got shrinkflation. They'll find other ways of getting around to make their margins. I have no idealistic attitude toward what this company is going to do. I understand. And you guys should too by now. But I still feel like we scored one here. I think we got one touchdown in the end zone here because they had to do all this. They had to find a way to make their margins work, offer less product, which is why there's probably less cards in the pack, right? Decreasing and lowering the weight and shipping costs and all that. I think we can look at this as a win for the most part. With a few caveats there saying, yeah, they're going to charge us more here, and yes, the experience will be, but even from an LGS perspective, instead of having to buy multiple products, the set, the jumpstart, the draft, commander decks every time. I hope they slim those up still. But all those different variant products will now kind of be combined a little bit smaller. A little bit easier of a load for LGSs to carry. Because let's face it, when LGS closes, that's one less account that is purchasing from the distributor, which is purchasing from Wizards. That's not good for their bottom line. The same as dumping on Amazon was a bad move to begin with, but they probably felt like they had very few options available. And yes, they should have given it to the LGSs at a major discount. I don't know how they could have done it. I'm sure there's logistical things there, but they could have worked it out. If they can figure out how to merge a set booster and a draft to make play boosters, they could have figured out a way to support the LGSs better. Now, as you go and look at a play booster, because we won't see this stuff till what, February of 2024 with Karlov Manor, right? And I'm not sure how I feel about that product until I start seeing, some of the spoilers and the actual makeup of how it's going to look. But when we go back to these types of planes and you're experiencing a new product, I still think they'll sugarcoat it, they'll make it look good. But it's still only one product to buy. It's one draft experience to go to. And yes, the boxes being more expensive means players are probably going to buy less of them, and that might be by design. They may be trying to shore up the secondary value market. They might be trying to say to players, the boxes are really expensive. The singles inside, because less boxes are getting opened, are going to have a higher value, expected value, from your economic team. They've worked this all out in the back room. They got the actuarials out there, and they're tabulating columns of value and trying to see what the cause and effects are going to be from players who buy a lot versus buy a little. They do not want to have a giant explosion in their face again. They don't want to backfire. They don't want to have like mud in their face. They want it to work out. They want it to work out what's best for them, but they don't want to kill the player base, which is what they were doing when they were shoveling things from 2018 to 2022. Crazy stuff to look back on now, and it will go down as the flashy era, crazy times in Magic with all kinds of discussions going on that players will look back on years from now. And new players will only have kind of like stories from the older players relating it to them, how it was like to live that. I mean, the 30th anniversary kick in the teeth really turned a lot of heads and made a lot of the older investor players run away and sell collections off. But we don't know what the values will be going forward. We can only speculate on how these will be tabulated and how the actual, new MTG finance economy is going to come around. I will be covering it, tackling it, looking at it from a new lens to see how these values are going to add up over time. But you won't know for 12 to 16, 18, 24 months. It takes a long time. It takes set upon set to see how the players are purchasing products, how much is going into the actual, card pool of what's for sale versus what players are going to keep. Remember, singles are ruling the day right now, and I have no reason to expect that's going to change from most players. Bringing back things like standard and having it come back to life means you need 4 of. Do you think players are going to open multiple packs just to get a chance? No, they're going to go the singles route. They're going to let the store take the chance, pay the heavier price, but get the exact cards they need for their whatever deck they're building. I don't care what format. We're going to say standard in this case because Wizards, of course, wants to promote standard. There's a lot of backdrop story here that's going to unfold over a very long period of time. But when I bring this back to the beginning, and we bring this back around to how the story went, I still think we won. I still think this is a small battle in a giant war. They didn't fix card quality, but they were forced to slim up the menu, consolidate some things down, and overall, hopefully, give the players a better playing experience for the future. Give all the players out there a chance to kind of breathe a little bit and not have to worry about so many variants, so many different types coming out. Because in his write-up, we saw so much information that the more you read it, the more you read between the lines, you can get all kinds of inferences and ideas. But again, it's not like they always tell the truth either. So we have to kind of step back for a moment and just see how this plays out. And I guarantee Wizards of the Coast, with all the backdrop people there in the Ivory Tower, they're all waiting to see how this turns out too. They're looking at the Reddit boards. They are looking at the distributors, the LGSs. They are looking for comments to see how players, how the audience is receiving this information. How is it being consumed? How is the information coming along in the game of broken telephone from person to person to person to person? You know the game. We all played that as a kid. So, you got to stay tuned for a little while. you got to keep your ears perked up. And hopefully by the end of this weekend, I will have talked to multiple stores by then. I'll put my emails out Friday. I'll get a lot of input from the stores and see how they actually feel about this new consolidation of this stuff going along for play boosters. But I think we won at least a small battle. You guys let me know what you think. Are you feeling negative or positive about this? Are you feeling slightly optimistic or just slightly negative? Your opinions matter. This conversation we have every day in the world of Magic, for those who tune in every day, this is the moment to kind of voice our concerns and put things out there, put out the ideas and conversations so other people can also interact with us to let us know what they're thinking. Great thoughts and stuff going on in this channel. Thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me. Now, for those who made it this far in the video, we're 10 minutes in. 10 minutes in. 595 subscribers until we get to 20,000 subs. Thank you everyone who hit the subscribe button so far. For all the new people who might be enjoying this content, make sure you slam that subscribe button down. Help us reach the goal of 20K and the 20K party we're going to have once we reach the goal of 20,000 subscribers. Thanks again for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being here on the channel. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another video. Have an awesome day. And of course, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons I have supporting my channel each and every day. You know, sometimes we forget how amazing the patrons are to show their support every month. So thanks again to each and every one of you for making content like this possible. See you soon. You know we scored. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. Somebody like spiked the touchdown and like, we're in the end zone. We're good. Play boosters could be a win. It could be a win for us, man. There could be excitement depending on how they put these things together. My brain is saying, I think we'll be okay. That's what my brain's telling me. So here we are at the cinematic universe of the afterthoughts of the Moxman, and that's how I feel. I'm not saying I'm all positive. The price is just irritating me to no end. I think more players will engage in packs versus boxes, but the idea that there could be excitement, like back in the day when you open a revised pack or an unlimited or a beta or whatever, and you open it, you go, oh, I got a Chaos Lace, versus, oh, that's awesome, I just got a Will-O-the-Wisp. Crazy times back then, and I think, like we saw when I opened that pack and we had one of the One Ring cards, right? That kind of excitement could come back again on a more frequent basis. As long as they stick to things. We all know they're probably going to mess it up. But I like to have that optimism that they could stick to something. Look, people are talking to me on Discord right now. I forgot to mute it. It's not my fault. You guys are popular. I try to answer you guys whenever I can. There's a couple hundred messages a day now. Depends on what we're talking about. Anyway, interesting times. Play boosters, man. I'm not going to put a nail in the coffin on this one until I've tried this stuff out. Let me know what you guys think. Have an awesome day. Oh, you made it to the end. We're at the end. Let's do something crazy. Let's do something. No, we're not doing anything crazy right now. It's not the 20K party yet, but you guys can totally put 20K party. Here we come. I'll see you guys soon. Have an awesome day, man. You guys deserve it.